Hey, it's session 2. I'm so excited. Listen, last week we got off to a great start, and this week we continue in this series where we're talking about this idea, the Ten Commandments. It's a love letter written in stone from a loving father to his sometimes wayward, crazy children. So he's saying, all right, let me show y'all what love looks like. It looks like this. Thou shalt have no other God before me. And this week, don't carve out for yourself your own image of me. I'm excited to talk about it and really get practical about what does that mean and how do we live that out in our life. We've got a great backdrop. We're in an all men's life group tonight, so that's gonna be really interesting. As a matter of fact, the wife of the house said, y'all can't come inside, y'all gotta stay outside. So we're gonna be outside tonight. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time. I hope you're ready. Session 2, let's go. Let's get started. Hey, welcome to session 2. We're so excited that you came back. Last week we got off to a great start, and this week we are in for a great time. Session 2, 10 Commandments, a love letter written in stone. I can't wait, y'all. Let's make some noise. Are y'all excited? Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Listen. As you can see, we're with an all-guys group this week. We are outside, and I think we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. Are y'all excited? Oh, yeah. Guys, a little nervous? We good? We good? Okay. Good. So here, I got a question for you guys to kind of get us loosened up, get us started. I didn't think about this through an all-men's group. This may be a little awkward for some of you guys. I don't know. Anybody, when you were growing up, anybody have an imaginary friend growing up? I'm assuming when you were growing up, because if you got one now, that's a different life group problem. That's a different question. Jason, you had an imaginary friend?
I had a couple of them. They were twins. They were twins. And they were Boo Boo and Beamy.
Boo Boo and Beamy.
Yeah, Boo Boo and Beamy. Yeah,
nice.
They're weird, but
it's your imagination.
Yeah,
yo.
definitely.
You can create them how you want. Boo Boo and Beamy.
Yeah, Boo Boo.
And y'all had some good times.
We had some good times when I was on punishment, which was all the time. So we were great friends.
Y'all developed a good relationship. Now, just for medical records, when was the last time you saw them?
About 2 or 3 hours ago.
We may have a problem. We may need to cut this group short. If they came with you tonight. What about this? Have you ever had anyone, and when you thought about them, you thought they would be one thing, but they turned out to be a whole other thing? Just somebody that was just, man, you turned out not to be who I thought you were. Anybody had any experiences like this?
Yes, yes.
You like how many?
Yeah, how many? Not get too deep, but my father. Yeah. I idolized my father growing up, and then when he told me about certain things, his polygamous views, like, man, I don't know, this is the dude I want to follow. Yeah, that's way too many child support checks in the mix. So and I really idolized him as a young man growing up, young, and then when I came to know the Lord. I was like, that's not adding up. Yeah. And it broke my heart, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Who else? Anybody else just didn't add up, weren't who you said you were?
Employees. Yeah, you hire someone and they don't work out. They oversell themselves and then turn out they're not the same person you interviewed.
But I mean, you mean to tell me someone would put on their resume that they were something and not be that?
Well, maybe just overselling.
That actually happens? No, you're right. Anybody else?
My ex-wife, man, she tricked me. She got me good, and it turned out that she was like, not very truthful, not very honest with a lot of things she was doing, and it didn't come out till like we were married for about almost 5 years, and didn't come out till toward the end, and it ended rather badly. But wow, yeah, it was a turn for the different. I don't want to say worse because I'm doing a little better now, but it was a turn for the different, definitely.
Yeah. What about God? Has he ever not met your expectations? When we look at the Ten Commandments, that's kind of what he's getting after in the second command. It's pretty interesting. First week he says it's a love story. It's a love letter. For the first time we see God's handwriting. in the Ten Commandments. It's kind of like what he's getting after in the second commandment. The first one, in this love letter written in stone, first of all, we see his handwriting for the first time, which is so beautiful, that he loved the children of Israel enough. He says, I'm going to write this down so that you'll see what it means to love me back. The first one, he says, I love you so much that I don't want you to have any other God before me. But then he does this one. He says this in Exodus 20, verse 4. He says, you shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. A lot of times we think this is about, oh, don't build a golden calf in the front yard and bow down and worship to it, which is true. You probably shouldn't do that. But he's talking about something bigger than that. He's saying, as you learn to trust me, as we build this relationship, there will be expectations that you have on me that will not be me. You will have an imagination. You will imagine that I am one thing and I am not that thing. Don't try to create a version of me that fits the thing that you imagined about me. Don't create your own image of me. I cannot become who you imagine me to be. I have to be who I am revealed to be. He's revealing himself. As he reveals himself, don't come up with your own imaginary version of me and create that. So for the children of Israel, it's literally what they did with the golden calf. They didn't like his timing. They didn't like what he was doing. So they created their own. They said, let's come up with a version of God. Let's come up with a golden calf. The problem when you create a version of God is it doesn't capture the essence of the complexities of God. So you may see the golden calf and say, oh, it's powerful and it's strong, but the golden calf doesn't show his compassion and his love. He says, don't create your own version of me. Don't create your own image of me so that it's easier for you to wrap your mind around me. God is doing his own thing. God is being disobedient. God is following his own way. I imagine God would be way more loving. I imagine that God wouldn't care about being with one woman in one relationship. So I'm going to come up with a version of God that's down with polygamy. You see what I'm saying? I'd imagine God cares about feeding the poor and he cares about social justice. But what I do with my own money and how I treat my employees, he doesn't care about that. I'd imagine God, and we come up with our own iterations, our own imaginations, our own ideas of what we think God is about. And we don't use his scriptures of how he's revealing himself to define him. We use what we feel like he should be like. So we create our own imaginary friend. He says, don't create your own image of me and then start worshiping to your own image of me. I am a God who loves all of you, who's into all of you, and I am revealing all that I am to you. Don't negate who I've said I am so that I might become who you think I ought to be. So thinking about the commandment through that lens and how we're all subject to redefining who God is, getting him to fit theologically our grid because he's just easier to put up with if he fits what I think he should be. Here's a question I want to ask, and it's going to sound a little heretical, so I mean, just be prepared. If you could change something about him, Lee, let's say you could change, according to where you are, according to your desire, if you could change something about God, what would it be? I'll go first. I would change his timing. I would change the turnaround time on all prayers. If I pray the prayer by the morning, I got to answer back by that night clearly in detail. Like I pray about the turnaround time. You know what I mean? That would just be a big prayer request for me. If you could change something, what would it be?
Mine is something along the lines of, where you're coming from, in that I want to kind of know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
It may not have to be right there and then, but I just kind of want to know what the outcome's going to be.
Just give me a little trailer.
Yeah.
God, if you could just give me a trailer of the future.
Yeah.
Give me a little movie clip, 2 minutes. You ain't got to spend a lot of time. It ain't even got to be high production, Jesus.
Right.
Just a little trailer, a little preview of the upcoming attraction.
Exactly.
Or upcoming disruption or distraction. Just give me a little trailer.
Exactly.
No, I get that.
Yeah, I'm like at the fork of the road. Do I go this way or do I go that way?
Yeah.
Just show me which way I need to go.
Yeah.
and I'll go.
Yeah.
I don't leave me standing here.
Yeah, it ain't even got to be high def. just clean. With. What about you, Nathan?
I think I would want to like always feel his presence there. You know, like you have moments where you know God's there and you see his hand in things, and then there's times where it's just kind of like, where are you, God? Like I don't know where you are right now, and things are difficult or they're easy or whatever. But I would just want like just reassurance. You know, just like a pat on the back or hear his voice and say, you know, I got you. So.
Yeah. Kind of like a coach on the sideline during a basketball game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm out here playing, but just if you could just yell at me every now and then so I know you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I would
If you say polygamy, I'm going to throw you out of here.
No, I would change his will and desires for my life to match up with exactly what I want.
Nice.
That way,
That way there's no friction. There's no disagreement.
No friction at all.
Yeah, just follow my plan,
Follow
God.
my plan.
And just move. Okay. All right. What about you, David?
I guess mine is a little along his lines. I would hope he'd make free will not so free. And I partly mean that for me.
Yeah.
Like it would make it a little easier to make the right choices all the time, not so much as a free will to make mistakes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. A little bit more controlling. A little heavy-handed.
Yeah, as odd as that sounds, but...
Well, you're obviously a project manager on your job. I can see that. I can see that. Cool. What about you guys over here?
I do see visions when I sleep once in a while, but I want him to show himself in my visions and give me warnings or, tell me how much he loves me and maybe I don't have enough faith, telling me, hey, you need more faith and so forth. Kind of guiding me and keeping me in the right path.
Yeah. Good. What about you, Ben?
I'm with Frank. If God could just give me a roadmap of like what to do and when to do it, I'd be happy.
So you want Siri? That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Siri.
What to do now?
Okay.
Turn right.
All right. Cormac, what about you?
If I could change anything, like the idea of him being a consultant would be pretty cool. Like let's consult, like let's come to agreement with some things, but also a reset button. I would love to get a reset button, at least 10 resets a month.
That's all you need? That's really good.
I said
all right.
at least.
At least 10? Okay.
I need more.
Kind of like your own Groundhog's Day. You just need to start over.
Let's press, try this again.
What if the thing you want to change about him is the very thing he wants to change about you? So what if he said, instead of clarity, what if you just trust me and have faith and to see that I'm good and that I'm faithful, and that's all you need to see? What if instead of a movie clip of what's to come, what a remembrance of who he's been and allowing that to shape the direction of what he's going to do and what you need in your life? What if instead of a consultant, he says, let me be your Christ and you consult me instead of him consulting you? What if he says, instead of the suffering in the world, he wants you to be the healing and the light in the world because of the amount of suffering? Instead of quick answers to prayer, what about me being quick to trust and to wait and believe because he's earned that? You see how easy it is for us to try to get him to become what we need him to be? And he's saying, oh, but if you would just become what I need you to be, then you'll be able to sit in who I am and trust who I am. I think when he's talking about this idea of no image, I think it's all that, all the things that we all said. And I know we all said, and I agree with everybody. I'd be like, yeah, I want that too. I love to have that too. But I think all of us are daily trying to get him to change, to become who we want him to be. And he says, don't do that. I'm a jealous God. Love me for who I am. And in you loving me, I'll change you and you'll become more like me. See, the goal isn't to get me to do your will. The goal is for your will to become like mine, your will to become mine. And in that, you experience the joy and the fruitfulness of what it is to be a follower of Jesus Christ and to have this love relationship with him. Well, now that y'all all feel terrible for those terrible answers y'all came up with, you should feel terrible. No, we're gonna keep talking here, and we hope that you'll have to keep the conversation going in your living room as you talk about this idea. Don't create your own image of him. as he reveals himself, allow him to define himself according to his word. Don't you define him. Your mind ain't big enough, you ain't smart enough. Stay where you belong, at his feet, trusting him and surrendering to him so that we might become like him. Y'all keep the conversation going there. We're gonna keep it going here. We're gonna talk about this polygamy thing again. Let's talk about it. Let's do it.